In today's video, Steven and I are going to take y'all through a journey. The same journey that one lowly wizard has gone through throughout the history of Yu-Gi-Oh! And that is the Dark Magician.
One of the most iconic cards ever printed, if not the most. It's like Dark Magician or Blue Eyes, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe Pot of Greed if you're into the meme culture.
And if you're a meme fan like us.
But it's been around for so long that you had an idea to show off multiple different generations of how to actually play Dark Magician in constructed decks.
Yes, everyone has been oohing and awing about the beautiful Blue Eyes support that we've had in recent generations
I've
of
been playing it
Yu-Gi-Oh!
at tournaments. You've been beating it at tournaments.
I do what I can to do that, yes. But I thought it'd be really fun to, like you said, kind of take us through and have like a historical take on what the support has looked like for decks like Blue Eyes and Dark Magician. And we're going to start with, of course, Dark Magician. I'm going to take you through three different eras. I have three different decks. I think showcasing the coolest support. There's been random cards here and there that like support spellcasters that also work with Dark Magician. But in my opinion, these are like the eras that are specifically the best time to play Dark Magician, or maybe a time when people are not, but they should.
True. So a lot of people, and even on our channel, we've made content about past formats. We're going to be doing multiple different formats for this video, so strap in, everybody. We've been practicing. We're gonna have to play in like multiple different master rules.
Yes, we're gonna
and remember all of it.
We're probably gonna get a lot of rulings wrong today. With that said, we're gonna go ahead and get started with the very first deck I have for you guys. That's going to be the 2005 Dark Magician support. This will be, of course, happening in the GOAT format. I believe it's April 2005.
April 2005. If you were at a YCS in the Time Wizard event, you could play this deck.
This is the only deck that I think is an actual war crime. I have created, I think, a war crime using this deck. I do want to let everyone know here, while we're shuffling up, that I do have a proxy card in my deck. It is this. It's a copy of Last Will. It's on screen right now. I know what it does. Steven I'll tell him what it does when it matters. But if you ever see this card, it's actually Last Will.
How embarrassing that he doesn't own that card.
I know, but it needs to be in the deck.
You've really built this up to be like a crazy deck. I'm curious what you can do. There's a couple ideas already in my head, but I don't want to spoil it by getting a reaction out of you. So we'll see what happens in the duel. But I'm going to tell my camera, plug your ears. It's either Dark Paladin or it's the fusion spell Turbo.
Let's know who's right, I guess. Let's figure out who's going first.
Yep.
High or low with the Dark Magician dice.
Dark Magician dice, it's beautiful. I'm gonna go high.
I can't lose.
That
is a 4.
4 for you, and mine is a 1.
Unfortunately, Dark Magician is number 1, therefore he's a small number.
Understandable. All right, so you want to go first or second?
I will gladly go first. I don't care what era of Yu-Gi-Oh! You're playing, that's always a good idea.
So in April 2005 Time Wizard format, you can draw for turn, so you will actually start with 6.
And this hand is starting off very nice for me.
Okay.
I will go ahead and draw that card, like you said, is my right. Now, you can probably name on one hand how many actual Dark Magician support cards there are in this format at this time.
Yep.
But
It's like Dark Magic Attack, 1,000 Knives, or Daggers, or whatever.
Knives, yeah.
Knives there. Skilled Dark Magician.
I didn't want to make it a minigame, but now it is. Keep going.
Technically Dark Magician Girl.
Technically, yeah.
Is that it? Oh, I guess the structure deck monster that tributes the Dark Magician and then burns 1,000 for every time you activate a spell
Dark
card.
Eradicator Warlock?
Dark Eradicator Warlock.
That's not in this.
That's not in this format?
That's 2007.
Oh, you're right. Yes.
Trust me, I know. That was gonna be my Edison deck. If I did, spoiler alert, we're not doing Edison, but if I did, that would have been
fun.
Around.
Then the guy, the Time Wizard one, you know?
Dark Sage, yeah.
Dark Sage, there we go.
The one that I built this deck around, you haven't said yet, which is very fun for me.
Dark Paladin.
No. Well, maybe. He might be.
Okay.
I'm not going to say that he's for sure not. All right. Standby phase, main phase.
Yes.
I'm going to start off by activating Toon Table of Contents.
Okay, yep.
Only good things have happened whenever this card's been activated. I promise.
Well, there's no library on the field, so I feel pretty confident about this.
This lets me add any Toon card or Manga Ryuran from my deck to my hand.
You have to specify that, just because they didn't want to name that one Toon.
So this will let me search for any Toon card, including another Toon table. So I'm just going to go ahead and cycle through all of them right now.
Yep.
And get Toon Cannon Soldier
Classic.
as my last card.
Yeah.
He's classic Cannon Soldier, but also he's a Toon monster.
Okay.
All right, now that I've thinned my deck out, this Graceful Charity gets a lot
wow,
better.
You are really thinning your deck. Okay.
I need to see specific cards in this deck.
Oh, wait a minute.
I'm gonna draw 3, discard 2.
Maybe I do know the card. There's the fusion in this also, right?
Ooh, I drew the card that I want to use. Yay! Okay. I'm gonna go ahead.
Actually, a weird amount of support.
I'm gonna send the Toon Can Soldier that I expertly searched for to the graveyard.
That's not part of the Dark Magician strategy? It's not integral?
It's helpful for another part of the deck. Technically, it is integral, but
Okay.
you'll see why in a moment. I'm going to discard Jinzo. So we have 2 dark monsters in the graveyard now. I'm now going to set a mysterious back row, which I love doing on this channel, and I'm going to normal summon Skilled Dark Magician. This was one of the cards that you named. Basically, each time a spell card is used by either of us, I can place a spell counter on this card, max of 3, and then, during my turn, I can get rid of 3 counters and tribute this monster to summon a Dark Magician from my hand, deck, or graveyard.
Very solid card. Notably, you must have drawn it off the Graceful Charity. Otherwise, that would have hit the field with all the tunes.
Exactly.
And I'm so happy you summoned that because up until this moment, you had only played Joey and Pegasus cards. So this was needed.
I mean, those are iconic people in Yugi's stories.
True,
So they have to be in here. With that, I'm going to end my turn. He's a big 1900
He's a
boy.
big old guy. All right, I will draw for turn. And I have to decide, do I want to go aggressive already? Or do I want to take it slow? I'm going to get aggressive.
Okay.
I'm going to play one of the power spells of the format, Snatch Steal. He gets a counter, but I get the monster. So give me that Skilled Dark Magician, please.
Okay. He's yours.
I will normal summon Donzaloo.
Whoa. Okay, so now I'm thinking you're playing warriors.
This is going to rip a card out of your hand if it can attack directly successfully. I will enter battle phase.
Entering the battle phase is fine.
I will attack with a Donzaloo.
On the attack declaration of Donzaloo, I'm going to activate Phoenix Wing Windblast,
Ooh.
discarding Exiled Force from my hand. This will let me target any card you control and place it on top of your deck. I'm going to put Snatch Steal on top of your deck.
Interesting. Okay.
This will then give me back my Dark Magician, and if you would like to redeclare your attack, you're more than welcome to.
I will not. I will instead set 1 card face down and pass my turn.
I will draw.
Very expensive to use that, and I'm still going to get the Snatch Steal back, so you're not necessarily out of the weeds yet.
Okay. I think I'm going to go to battle phase.
Okay.
And I'm going to have my Skilled Dark Magician attack your Donzaloo for 1900.
That will work. 500 damage. I will take it.
You're at 75. Main phase 2. I'm going to activate the effect of Thunder Dragon in my hand, discarding it, and I can add up to two Thunder Dragons from my deck to my hand.
Roger, roger.
So I'm going to get number 1 and number 2. That's Larry, that's Gary.
Okay. Nice.
And that's Harry, but he's in the discard. I'm going to set 1 card face down, and I'm going to end my turn.
I will draw for turn. Oh, boy. That's crazy I drew that one.
What could it be?
I'm going to set a monster, and I'm going to pass my turn.
Ooh, interesting.
I'm not going to get aggressive with the Snatch Steal this time. There's no need.
Interesting. Well, now I'm just playing Skilled Dark Beatdown, so
Really, you are, yeah.
don't know how well that's
That's a
gonna work
Gemini
for you.
elf right there.
You basically, but with upside.
True.
Let's
That is crazy to think about. That like this card, I don't even remember it being played that much, but it was dark, which is better attribute than something like a Gemini elf, and also it did have an effect. If you wanted to run the one of,
And the fact that like it works off your spell cards too is like I think really cool. So it just like it does accrue value over time. Battle phase.
okay,
I'm gonna have Skill Dark attack your set.
you will flip my Roulette Barrel, and you'll take 100 damage.
Okay.
One of my favorite cards to play back in this time, and it's been seen more and more play because it is a light monster. And there's not that many like really solid light monsters. That other than like Magician of Faith, Thunder Dragon's a big one, but like this is also I think a really slept on one.
Okay, so I've taken 100, and I believe this has an effect that like you can roll a dice, and then so you destroy a monster equal to the level that you roll, and it's mandatory. So like if that's the only level 4 in play, and you roll a 4, you have to destroy that.
Yep.
And my turn. Go ahead.
I will draw for turn. I will activate the effect of my Roulette Barrel. Give me that dice.
You can borrow that.
Or that die. So I roll it twice. There's a
5.
5. I'm looking for a 4.
That's a 1.
Did not get
5 minus 1 equals 4. But
True.
so it doesn't work that
Unfortunately,
way.
that did not work for me. I will now set a card, and I will pass my turn.
Classic.
If
Go
you can't
standoff.
get over my Roulette Barrel, it will eventually deal with your Skilled Dark Magician.
Well, I think I just drew a pretty good card right there.
Ah.
What does this card do again? I need some help with this one.
I actually never remember. That one's a really tricky one. There's a lot of text on it.
Drawer, char. I guess I'll just draw 2 cards. I guess that's what that says.
I guess we also learned you're illiterate today. You're playing the right game for that, actually.
Ooh, that is an interesting draw.
Okay.
I'm going to activate Premature Burial, paying 800 life points and targeting Jinzo. This will trigger a third one of these friends, and that's my target.
Okay.
So now Jinzo will hit the board, and now no trap cards.
No trap cards.
For anybody. And now, the fun part. I have 3
Yes, you do.
spell counters, so I will now tribute my Skilled Dark Magician and summon from the deck the ultimate wizard in terms of attack and defense, Dark Magician. I'm going to say
There
that
he
every
is.
single time I summon Dark Magician today.
That is the flavor text. Yeah.
Exactly. Steven, I'll now proceed to win the game. Because
You can try.
I'm going to banish a light and a dark.
Sure.
Skilled Dark Magician and Thunder Dragon. And I will special summon Blackluster Soldier, Envoy of the Beginning.
That's a big one. Wow, look at this field right here. This is pretty scary.
It gets even better because I'm going to normal summon yet another Skilled Dark Magician. Haven't
Okay.
done that yet today. Now I'm going to go battle phase.
All right.
I'm going to swing Blackluster Soldier at your roulette barrel.
Destroys. And what does your effect say now?
When he destroys a monster for battle, he gets to make a second attack this
Yes,
turn.
he can.
I'm going to go ahead and attack him for 3,000.
Notably, Jinzo shuts off traps, but not quick play spells.
Oh.
Scapegoat. Summon 4 goat tokens in
that
defense
is-
position.
That is pretty good. I will redeclare and attack one of the go tokens.
Yep.
That leaves you with 3 left.
And I'll assume you'll clear the rest of the tokens.
Yes, please and thank you.
Yep, that's fine. They'll all die.
And then I will think here for a second. I'll set a mysterious card face down, and I'll end my turn.
A mysterious face down.
I got a little ahead of myself, but you can assume with this board, I was like, oh, we got the damage.
Yeah. It definitely seemed scary for you. How many in your hand?
3.
Wow, you have a lot of resources left still.
I built a
That's
really
actually
good
kinda
deck.
surprising. Well, no, you drew Pot of Greed.
And graceful, but also,
But 2 of those cards in hand are Thunder Dragons. I
but
know
also I
that.
built a good deck.
So Thunder Dragon's not that scary. In the end phase, I
Mm-hmm.
am going to Mystical Space Typhoon your face down card.
This
The
one?
new one, yep.
Well, this will give away a cool thing that I was going to do from my hand, which was Dedication through Light and Darkness.
Oh!
This card lets me tribute a Dark Magician to summon Demok
I'm
from
surprised
anywhere.
you didn't then during the battle phase.
Well, it doesn't matter now.
You could have gotten back a Graceful or a Pot.
I guess I could have.
Okay, all right. I will draw for turn.
Oh, by the way, that will trigger Skill
will.
Dark also for the Scapegoat, so you
Yes.
got 2.
Draw for turn. Okay.
Yes.
I will activate the spell card. Snatch Steel on your Blackluster Soldier Envoy at the beginning.
Yes.
Boom. And now you have 3 counters on your Skilled Dark
I
Magician.
do. It's unfortunately not a quick effect because
Nope.
they didn't really have those back then for monsters.
I am going to banish my own Light and Dark
Ooh.
to summon Chaos Sorcerer. Could you imagine 2 BLSs on my field? That would
That'd
be
be
awesome.
kind of scary.
So Chaos Sorcerer hits the field.
Mm-hmm.
Now, interestingly, he can banish one of your guys so that they can't come back. I don't know how many Dark Magicians you're running, but you might only have 1 because Skilled Dark can get it from anywhere. So Chaos Sorcerer is going to banish your Dark
So
Magician.
you're gonna target Dark
I'm
Magician.
going to target Dark Magician to banish.
So Chainlink 1, Chaos Sorcerer, target Dark Magician.
Yes.
Chainlink 2, Dedication through Light and Darkness.
You had another one.
Tribute for cost.
Okay.
Summon Demok from the hand.
The hand.
You can summon from anywhere.
Yeah, okay.
That'll max 3 counters, so we're good there.
Sure.
So that will now fizzle because there's no target for it there. And then on a new chain, Dark Magician on summon, let me get
Yep.
any spell card from my graveyard to my hand. And I think it's going to be Graceful Charity, question mark? Probably will be the easiest way to do this. Yeah, we'll go for Graceful.
Okay.
Add this to my hand.
That's a little scary. I'm actually going to use Blackluster Soldier to banish your Dark Magician of Chaos.
All right, banished.
That is no longer a threat. I'm going to set 2 and just say, better have it. Your turn.
Well, knowing your opponent has a Graceful Charity,
Yeah.
with 2 Thunder Dragons that they'll more than happily get rid of is
Yeah,
kind of
it
a
is
rough
scary.
thing for
It
you.
is scary.
I drew for turn. I'm going to activate said Graceful Charity.
Yep.
Anything?
Nope.
Great. I'm going to draw my 3 cards. And I will go ahead and discard the 2 Thunder Dragons. Now, I'm going to activate that Heavy Storm. Because you
did
did
have it.
call it, and Jinzo is a little bit worse than BLS. So I'd rather have BLS than
Only
Jinzo.
slightly. I will chain a Scapegoat.
You do not have
don't.
the ability to summon 4 monsters. So unfortunately, you cannot activate Scapegoat.
Oh, that's actually so painful. I might just lose off of
You are
that.
definitely dead this turn.
That is a Torrential that you hit. You lose your Jinzo, I lose my BLS.
Thank you. And I have you at 7,500 life points, correct?
Yep.
Beautiful. It gets even worse for you, buddy.
Yeah?
I'm now going to activate the spell card Last Will basically, when I activate it, I will now gain the lingering effect that when one of my monsters that I control goes to the graveyard, I can summon any monster with 1,500 or less attack from my deck to the field. I'm going to activate that card, and now I will tribute Dark Magician for his effect to summon Dark Magician from my graveyard, and that'll now trigger Last Will, and I'm going to summon Cyberstein!
Oh!
I pay 5,000 life points, and I summon the Master of Oz!
That's crazy.
I'm gonna go battle phase. I'm gonna have Envoy attack the worst chaos monster, deal you 3,000, attack for 7, attack for 25, and attack with Master of Oz for game.
You're not even winning with the Dark Magician.
But it's he's allowing the Master of Oz to go first. He's a gentleman like that. Let's go, baby!
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I did not see. I got one of the power spells. The Phoenix Wing Wind Blast I didn't think was actually going to be a very good play because I get it back, but yeah, dodging my Chaos Sorcerer was pretty big, and then the double Graceful Charity. Plus, you had already cycled so much of your deck.
Yes,
that was scary.
I also had Torrential Snatch still in my hand. I was big chillin'.
I was not getting out of there. So I built a very standard goat control deck here. Just chaos control with like the metamorphoses, the scapegoats, my own BLS. But it's a much slower deck. But I wanted to show it because it's a very standard 2005 list that you would play against quite often in this time period. So cool that Dark Magician was able to combo because. Yeah, I mean, that was pretty explosive.
Yeah, so like the main thing that I built this deck around was obviously the interaction of Skilled Dark Magician and Last Will, which is this card.
Yeah.
Which is basically like I get a free monster that I contribute, I get a 25 body, and then with Cyberstein plus Master of Oz, you can generate so much damage, or as people know...
Is this not quite enough? That's 32 plus 42.
But it's still a gigantic amount of damage.
Almost,
Any
yeah.
Chaos monster takes you over the edge. You have ways to get Darks and Lights in the graveyard pretty easily. And then, of course, if you don't want to go Oz, you can go any of the, awesome Stein targets that we have in Go format, which is like all the Metamorphosis targets.
Unfortunately, not Dark Paladin, because that has to be Fusion Summon,
exactly.
which sucks. But
that was my whole thing. It was like, I'm going to build like a Fusion Gate turbo deck for Dark Paladin, but I really don't like Buster Blader, so I was ignoring that.
It's cool that you also had the dedication.
Yes, so to me, Demog is like, I think it's better than Envoy at the beginning. I think this is the best monster in all of Goat.
Crazy with how powerful the spells are,
100%. And so I'm like, if I have a way to summon this card from my graveyard or my hand or my deck and dodge targeting effects, like you saw, like I can just like 1-for-2 you there so hard. Like if you didn't have Chaos Sorcerer and you went Envoy at the beginning, try to target and banish something, I would just dodge that. And now it can't attack, and then next turn I get rid of the Snatch Steal, I just go boom. So yeah, I really loved this interaction specifically, and then how it combos with Scaled Dark, because there are so many spell cards that you can just like activate and go.
Like all
I
the
have
Toon stuff.
tables.
Yeah, do you have the Upstart Goblins, I assume, also?
Yes, and then Last Will, you can just activate it. And then if that's your last spell counter you need to go trigger, and it just goes from there. So yeah, that was the deck idea for this one. And you also play a bunch of other really cool Last Will targets like Visor Shock, who can return
I love that card.
all set cards in the field.
This is one of those ones that was never respected enough back in the day.
My actual favorite, Injection Fairy Lily. That's the best way to win a game right there.
So how many Last Wills were you on?
It's 3. It's the full 3. Because you need as many spells as possible for Skilled Dark Magician.
And Last Will was at 3 at this time.
100%.
And we have seen in the time since the format actually was played in 2005, people really experimenting with that card and realizing how good it is for just winning games.
So that is the power of Dark Magician in GOAT. Everyone at home, take notes. Let's go to the future.
Let's do it.
All right, Stephen, we are now in the future.
Is that the sound of time travel?
That's the sound of Dark Magician using magic on us to then travel us in time.
Okay, cool.
Just to be specific.
Putting myself back in like sophomore year of college right now.
Yes.
That's the mindset I need to be in.
Oh, that's what it feels like. Oh, yeah. It feels very 2016. Feels very Blue Eyes just won World Championships. We're in Invasion Vengeance format.
Yep. So a little bit after the World Championships.
Yes,
it's a set that came out afterwards, but you wanted to do this one particularly because of some certain cards that you're utilizing for Dark Magician.
Yes. Specifically, there's a little product called the Legendary Dex 2 that came out, which is a very impactful set for Dark Magician, as it released some pretty cool cards that we'll see in Dark Magician decks up from now to the end of time, probably.
Okay.
And it kind of gave Dark Magician the identity. We saw in GOAT that it was kind of used as an engine to facilitate a really cool combo that I used with, with Stein and with Demog, Dark Magician of Chaos. But now, this is a full-fledged, as far as I'm concerned, Dark Magician deck, and no one can tell me otherwise.
It is now a legitimate strategy, specifically the release of like Dark Magic Circle. What's kind of the big power card for it, was playable the previous set, but then like it really comes together here.
Yeah, that may be a card in this set. In this deck.
I imagine any Dark Magician players out there would know that this is that period where the deck starts to come together.
100%. While I'm shuffling up, do you want to go ahead and roll for high?
Let's do it.
That is a 6. I'm just built different today.
Oh. Well, you were the one that chose to do this video, so I guess the die is biased towards you. I got a 2, you got a 6.
That is not going to be good enough.
Just gonna leave the die right there. I owe nothing to that die right now.
It betrayed you.
Yeah.
But it is loyal to me because it is, in fact, Dark Magician.
Even though my mug is the one with Dark Magician on it. You can see right there, so... I feel like I should get brownie points from the die.
Maybe. Now, this video actually isn't meant to be like a competition between you and me. It's more about just showing off all these really cool Dark Magician cards, but I am currently 1-0. So
yeah.
if you guys are enjoying, be sure to let us know in the comments who you think will win the most games today using hashtag TeamSteven. Trust us, we'll know which one you're talking about.
We are in Master Rule 3.
Yes.
And you do not get to draw for turn, correct?
No. That happened back in like 2014, I think, or something like that.
There we go.
But I will gladly go first, and this hand is just about everything I want to be doing with it, I think. Now, I do have a decision point, actually, here, because this deck runs a lot of what I would like to call pot of dualities, you know, cards that look at the top 3 cards of your deck, rather than just, like, hard advantage cards.
Okay.
So it can always be really tricky to sequence them, so I'm just trying to think about the best way to do so. Start off with Pot of Desires.
Okay.
This card will let me banish the top 10 cards of my deck, and then I can draw 2 cards.
Very powerful card that was released right around this time, right before the set.
And I'm currently banishing my 10 cards. Do you have an Ash Blossom Joy Spring?
I do not.
It didn't exist yet. I'm going to go ahead and draw
Maybe I put Droll and Lockbird in, though. We'll see if anything happens on res.
Ooh. I'm going to go ahead and activate Dark Magical Circle.
There it is.
This card has a lot of text, but it's essentially a pot of duality for Dark Magician or Dark Magician spell and trap cards. And then whenever I normal or special a Dark Magician during either player's turn, I can target something on your field and banish it.
Yep.
It basically gives this deck a kind of like control identity, because it's a continuous spell, it stays in play, and you can recruit advantage by disrupting your opponent. I'm going to look at the top 3 cards, or do I reveal them? I look at them. Ooh, and I have a pretty good one to grab that is a Dark Magician spell trap, probably the iconic one.
Okay.
Eternal Soul,
there
baby!
It is.
More on this card later. And then I can take the 2 cards and put them back on top of the deck in any order I want. But that won't matter necessarily, because I'm going to go back in by normal summoning Magician's Rod.
There it is.
This is Stratos, but just for Dark Magician spell and traps. I'm going to go ahead
You can grab the circle, you can grab the Eternal Soul, but since you have both...
I'm actually going to grab Illusion Magic.
Ooh.
This card lets me tribute 1 spellcaster I control and search my deck for up to 2 Dark Magicians and add them to my hand.
Interesting. I've never actually seen this one played before.
It's a really good one. In set 1, set 2, set 3, as I am apt to do on this channel, and I will gladly end my turn.
All right, so I have 3 face downs. I know one of them is a quick play that contribute that Magician's Rod to search 2 Dark Magicians, and I know one is an Eternal Soul. Okay, well, we're gonna start off with a Metal Foes Volflame scaled to the Pendulum Zone, technically over here.
Right, you still have all your spell
I
and trap
have
cards
my
up.
Pendulum Zones. Now, this is a deck that was very popular at this time. Metal Foes and Pendulums in general were kind of the name of the game. Part of why Blue Eyes was able to win Worlds was because the Spirit Dragon Synchro was very good against Pendulum decks. Anything on Resolution?
No, he's all the Metal Foes have the effect that like you can destroy something you control to search for a Metal Foe spell trap, right?
Yes.
Okay, great.
I will scale Metal Foes Gold Driver in this Pendulum scale.
In response to that, I'm going to activate Max C from my hand.
Ooh, you are running it. Okay.
So from this point forward, anytime you special summon a monster, I can draw a card.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and activate Illusion Magic, distributing my Magician's Rod for cost to search for 2 Dark Magicians.
That is fine. Yeah, you don't want to draw those Dark Magicians.
No, I do not. I'm going to get Dark Magician and Dark Magician.
Okay.
And then on resolution of Illusion Magic, I have an effect. So because I've activated a spell or trap during your turn, I can reveal to you Magician of Dark Illusion and summon it from my hand. And fun fact, this card is always considered Dark Magician when it's on the field, which means a couple things will happen. I've now summoned a Dark Magician, therefore my Dark Magical Circle will trigger, and I will target your Gold Driver
Okay.
to banish.
You will banish Gold Driver.
It does not go to the extra deck.
Boom. Interesting you would choose the low scale, knowing that this deck has primarily low scales and struggles with high scales.
I don't want you to summon level 4s.
And also, it's annoying because I only drew other high scales. We will scale Metal Foes Steelin.
That is fine.
I will activate Steelin's effect, targeting my face-up Volflame. It will destroy it and then set a Metal Foes spell or trap for my deck.
That's good.
Okay. Destroy Volflame. And set...
While Steven's searching his deck, I want to remind everyone watching at home that if you enjoy these videos and want to see awesome Yu-Gi-Oh! Content in the future, be sure to subscribe. We have a lot of fun stuff coming out.
Full Metal Foes Fusion.
So that's like the quick play fusion
That's
spell.
the quick play fusion spell.
Can you still fusion from Pendulum Zone?
Yes.
Okay, beautiful.
I will normal summon Magispector Raccoon Bunbuku.
Ooh.
Activate his effect. Search my deck for a Magister monster and add it to my hand.
That is fine.
Okay. Magispector Unicorn Kirin. The Magispector is very, very powerful, like kind of mini engine here. Bunbuku gets to Kirin, which is one of the best cards in the format. Was on the Forbidden list for quite a while. Recently came off in Modern here. But maybe we'll see why a little bit later. For now, though, we are just going to set and pass my turn.
In your end phase, I'm going to activate Eternal Soul. This will allow me to special summon a Dark Magician either from my hand or from my graveyard. I will choose to summon one from hand. And then, because of that, on res, I'm going to chain Magician's Rod, distributing my Dark Magician to add it back to my hand.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Still end phase, your turn.
Draw. I'm going to activate the effect of Eternal Soul to add either Dark Magic Attack or Thousand Knives from my deck to my hand. I'm going to go ahead and get Dark Magic Attack. This card reads, if I control Dark Magician, I can destroy all spell and trap cards my opponent controls.
Yep.
Cut a tap. Anything on resolution?
No.
I will activate Dark Magic Attack. Destroy all spell traps you control, because Dark Illusion is Dark Magician.
Yes. I will... Man, that's actually very frustrating.
Because pendulums are also spell cards.
Yes, and because I know you have not used your Dark Magical Circle effect yet, but you would need to find a way to special summon a Dark Magician. I think I will activate that Full Metal Foes Fusion.
Okay. Chain two.
And we will... Sure, chain Book of Moon.
Target Magician Dark Illusion? Yeah. He's unaffected.
Ah, cool. Well, it didn't matter anyway. You were just going to flip him up if you wanted to. But I will fusion these two because Steelin from the Pendulum Zone can be used with my Bunbuku in the main monster zone to summon a Metal Foes Mithrilium.
So on resolution, because I activated a spell and trap card, I can use Dark Magician's second effect to summon a Dark Magician from my graveyard.
Oh, that's how you're going to get the Dark Magician out. Sure. Okay, yep.
So I'll summon this from the graveyard, and then on a new chain, Dark Magic Circle, I'll go ahead and banish this.
Yes.
Yeah, this is how like this kind of deck wants to play. It's like I get you in the little grinder. That is me just summoning back my guys and banishing and getting advantage.
Yeah, the weakness of Dark Magician always was not being able to consistently get Circle and Eternal Soul on turn one. If you can get those on turn one, very hard to deal with.
And I play a lot of draw cards in this deck. I'm gonna go ahead and play Magician's Rod again.
Sure.
We saw him before. I'm gonna go ahead and get a spell trap that mentions Dark Magician, and I'm gonna get Magician's Navigation. This card lets me summon a Dark Magician from hand, and then also special summon a spellcaster that's level 7 or lower from my deck. And then as an effect in the graveyard to be a spell trap negate. Overlay. Dark Magician of Dark Illusion and Dark Magician. And I'm going to get... I would go into Ebon Illusion Magician, but unfortunately my last Dark Magician is in the Banish, so I cannot summon it from the deck. Summon Mecha Phantom Beast Dracosack.
Ooh.
Very iconic rank 7 monster.
This isn't Dragon Rulers.
It's a rank 7 toolbox deck too. I'm going to go ahead and detach this to make 2 Mecha Phantom Beast tokens. We'll go ahead and have these be my tokens for now. They're summoned in defense mode. They have 0/0. While I control these tokens, he cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. I'm going to go ahead and activate another Dark Magical Circle, because I've not used the effect to Pot of Duality, and I would love to control my top decks, but unfortunately, these are no Dark Magician cards. I will put it on top just like that. Let's go to battle phase. I'm going to go ahead and attack you for 16.
Sure.
Attack you for 26.
Okay, so 42, I'm at 38.
I'll set a card face down, and I will say go.
Okay.
And now the second you set a scale, I can just go banish.
Set a scale. All right, we're going to scale Metal Foes Volflame.
Yes, so on resolution to that, I'm going to trigger Eternal Soul. summon Dark Magician from the graveyard, and then Dark Magical Circle, I'll banish this.
And that is going to do it. With only Kieran in hand, I cannot win the duel. Yeah, hitting the one low scale completely ended my turn. There's really nothing I could do from that position.
Having Bambuku plus Gold Driver, though, is really good, because that's so much advantage for you long term.
Yeah. Theoretically, like, I had a good hand. It's just, it is stopped if the low scale disappears. If you had hit the high scale, I would have been fine, because I had another high scale follow-up. The only other thing I could have done was not just gone for the Bambuku Full Metal Foes Fusion pass. I could have gone for something a little more aggressive, like Orichalc, and tried to hit over, because you had already used your Banish effect. I could at least clear the guy on field, and it makes it a little more awkward for you.
But then you're being aggressive with your Metal Foes Fusion, and then on my turn, it's like, you have no response to any of my plays at that point.
Exactly. And, like, yes, the normal spell of Metal Foes Fusion allows me to shuffle it back into the deck to draw a card, so I could try and draw, like, a Vanity's Emptiness, or like a Raigeki, or like one of these power cards that could then stop you on the follow-up.
That's like risky to go for.
I was not reading that you had the Dark Magic Attack.
Yeah,
I didn't expect
in the deck,
in there, yeah. So how many one-ofs do you have in the deck?
It's actually not a lot of one-ofs. The only one-of is, in terms of Dark Magician cards, it's Dark Magic Attack.
Okay.
Everything else is a 3-of.
Except
for Illusion Magic, this card's a 2-of.
Okay, interesting.
Because if you just raw open this card, and you open like either Circle or Soul, and you get your Rod, it's just like the craziest amount of advantage you've ever seen. Because Magician's Navigation, this is the real combo card of the deck that like really unlocks this archetype in my eyes. Because you can, Illusion Magic, get the 2 Dark Magicians guaranteed, because Rod can always get this combo. And if you have this card, you summon this, and then you summon either Illusion, which you saw, which can recycle our Dark Magicians, or I get Kaiku. And against like an ABC deck, which you were probably famously playing against back in the day, you could just be like, you're never allowed to summon ABC Dragon Buster.
Yeah.
And then also, something you didn't see in this deck is, the main reason why I really like this deck is it's one of the few decks that doesn't care about its extra deck at all in this format. Like you saw, I was like, it kind of doesn't matter what I summon. I just want to get Dark Magician in the graveyard again. So I play Winter Cherries in this deck, and I have every scary extra deck monster in here that I want to just say, nope.
Interesting.
If you're playing Paleo, get your toes out of here. If you're playing Metal Foes, get the Thrillium out of here. If you're playing ABC, get it out of here.
Interesting.
And like this deck just forces a grind game, which will always win, even against really powerful combo decks like Metal Foes, which is known for having so much card selection.
Yeah. I mean, this deck has so many combos it can pull off. I'm really sad I didn't get to show them off, but the point of this video is to show off Dark Magician.
Right.
You're doing a great job of showing what this deck can
like
do.
you open Bambuku plus full scale. If I don't interact with those scales at all, I'm probably dead.
I was gonna get Kieran. I was gonna get like multiple fusions and
get the XZ summon too. I think probably too. The Pendulum guy, right? Yeah. And then these were the 2 like main extra deck monsters: Ebon Illusion and Ebon High. This guy lets me use my quick play spells as if they're trap cards in my hand, so they don't need to be in play to be used. And then also lets me float into Dark Magician. And then this one lets me summon Dark Magician. And then every time I attack with a normal monster, I can destroy something.
Interesting.
So these cards are also really cool, but just didn't need to summon them.
Well, sorry to all the Metal Foes enthusiasts out there. We're gonna do more duels of this after we finish this video. I'm not satisfied with that, but that was cool to see what your deck can do.
So I've done combo Dark Magician and I've done control Dark Magician.
Yep.
Let's see what I have for Duel 3. We are now in the future, Steven, or should I say the present.
Ooh, for us at least right now.
Yes.
For people in the future watching this video, maybe this is the past for them. Ooh. How crazy is it that time works like that?
Except for us.
Yeah, when you're editing this, you're in the future.
Watching our present.
From your past.
Exactly. Oh, my goodness. Something I want to mention before I talk about this is literally, as of recording this video and writing it and preparing all these decks, new Dark Magician support has been announced, and it looks crazy strong, so this deck probably will eventually evolve again, but that's the beauty of Dark Magician. He lives on in Yu-Gi-Oh's history, but he is also Yu-Gi-Oh's future.
So with that said, not the recently announced support, but you did attempt to make the best Dark Magician deck that you could think of for this format.
The way I think about this one is, this is the deck that I would play if I wanted to play Dark Magician in an event tomorrow.
I'm excited to win a die roll.
Yes.
Let's see if I can do it. I'm going to go high.
That is 3. Middle of the road. Evenly matched.
Okay, another one. 6.
Ooh, top of the road. 4. That's
I will
a die
go first.
You got
I'm happy to go first.
You got it.
Okay. So yes, I'm playing a current deck that I have not played before, so this is going to be a new experience for me. But it's one that got freshly released, and I've seen a lot of people experimenting with it, finding some success, and it did top the last YCS. So shout out Providence. I will go first.
You got it, my friend.
3, 4, 5 cards for turn. And not a bad opening rip. We are going to start with a spell card, Pressured Planet Wraithsoth.
Oh!
Field spell that, on activation, allows me to search my deck for a Kashtira card and add it to my hand.
Playing a Kashtira deck.
Kashtira monster.
That could be anything. It could even be Kashtira.
It could be it's pure Kashtira, freshly released in 2025.
I think I'm going to Ash Blossom. Wraithsoth.
Interesting.
No-
Ashing the Wraithsoth. Okay,
No unicorn for you.
sure. That is the target I was going to go for, but thankfully I do have a different starter in Regenesis Code. This is the deck we are playing. It is the Regenesis cards. I thought you are playing Dark Magician, the OG 2500 attack monster.
Yes.
Regenesis, an entire strategy built around 2500 attack and defense monsters. And we're going to see just how powerful they can be. Quick play spell on activation. I special summon a Regenesis monster from my deck, but send it to the graveyard during your end phase. And then for the rest of the turn, I cannot special summon from the extra deck. I will special summon the kind of premier card in this archetype, Regenesis Archfiend. This monster on summon allows me to search my deck for a Regenesis card and add it to my hand. Also, during your end phase, if it was sent to the graveyard during your turn, I add it back to my hand, and it can summon itself from my hand, but the important thing is it hit the field and it will now search for a card. Is that okay?
It's interesting. I kind of played a deck in the previous game that was kind of like ultimate grind game, but so is this one too, because they just always come back.
Very grindy.
Interesting. I think I will Imperm Archfiend to try to keep you either off the trap or off Lord specifically, because that can be pretty annoying for me.
Okay, well, at least Archfiend has hit the field. You did not stop that. And because a monster with 2500 original attack or defense is on the field, I can special summon from my hand Regenesis Warrior. This one, all the Regenesis is either summoned to the field if there's a guy with 2500 attack or defense on the field, or by revealing one in hand in Archfiend's case. But Warrior just allows it to summon itself, and its effect is quick effect. I contribute this card, target a monster you control, and return it to the hand. And then same thing, during your end phase, if it was sent there during your turn, I can add it back to my hand.
Wonderful.
I will set a face down, and I will pass my turn.
Okay, and then is this an ignition effect or on summon?
It's on summon.
Okay, great.
Yep.
All right, I will draw for turn. Go ahead and set a mysterious card.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and set another card. And then I will call it a turn. Over to you.
Ooh, that's it. Okay. Regenesis Code will resolve, sending this to the graveyard. Still in your end phase, then Archfiend will add itself back to my hand.
Gorge. Over to you.
I will draw for turn. Let's start off with, see if you have interaction for this. I'll activate another Regenesis Code, a Regenesis Archfiend. I will activate Archfiend's on summon effect to search my deck for a Regenesis card and add it to my hand.
That is also fine.
Okay, did not stop that one. That feels good. I'm just gonna go straight into, we're gonna go Regenesis Sage. This is essentially an Omni Negate. I can send another Regenesis card from my hand or face up field to the graveyard to negate the activation of a card or effect.
I'm going to pay 2,000 life points and activate Primite Roar.
Ooh.
Declaring Dark Magician. So because I've declared a normal monster, all my Primite monsters that are in play can I destroy my battle. Look how many I have. They're beautiful. And then I can summon the normal monster from my deck. In
Yes,
defense
that's
mode.
fair. That's fine. Yep, no response.
I will go ahead and grab the Ultimate Wizard in terms of defense. Place them in the field.
Okay. Anything on res?
No.
You know what? Let's go in. I'm going to reveal Regenesis Sage in my hand to special summon Regenesis Archfiend number 2. I've already used the once per turn search, but I can use his effect to summon him once per turn as well. So now I have 2. Anything here?
No.
I will special summon Regenesis Sage since I control multiple monsters with 2500 attack and or defense. I will switch Warrior to attack position. And I will enter battle phase.
Yes.
I will attack with Archfiend into your Dark Magician.
This will be destroyed.
I will attack with Archfiend directly.
On attack declaration of that, I will activate Bestial Druisworm, targeting my Dark Magician to summon.
My Regenesis only come back if they go to the graveyard on your turn. But I'm going to put that you are kind of in desperation mode. I'm going to Regenesis Sage, tribute the Archfiend that attacked already.
Negate
and destroy.
Okay.
All right. Attack still goes through then.
I will activate Eternal Soul to summon Dark Magician from the graveyard.
Okay, sure.
Summon him in defense mode.
All right, I will clear the Dark Magician. Then I will attack directly with Warrior.
Ouch.
And Sage.
Ouch. So I've taken 27, so that is, 28. So
Gains
that's
100 attack
56.
attacks for each different attribute on the field. There are 3 attributes, so they're all 2,800 attack.
So I've
right
taken
now.
56. I'm at 400 life points.
400 life points.
Had to fight for that one.
Oh. So now all my once per turn effects are back. I can still negate,
Card or effect. Okay.
and I can Warrior to bounce a card, bounce a monster.
Oh, that might be what we need. Let's go ahead and activate Soul Servant. This will allow me to place, this is one of the newer cards that came out, and I believe one of the first Legendary Duelist sets. Legendary Duelist 3, I think. I can place one card from the top of my deck. Sorry, I can place one card from my hand, deck, or graveyard that is Dark Magician or mentions Dark Magician to the top of my deck. And then while it's in the graveyard, I can actually banish it, and then for every copy of Dark Magician, Palladium, or Dark Magician Girl, I can draw a card. That's either in my field or my graveyard. Anything here?
No.
Let's choose Bond between teacher and student. So if I control Dark Magician, I can special summon Dark Magician Girl. All right, I'll go ahead and put that on top.
Okay.
And then I'll use the effect of Soul Servant to draw a card.
The draw's fine.
Okay.
You draw that card.
Go ahead and draw.
That card does nothing on its own.
I think I'll go Eternal Soul to summon Dark Magician.
Okay.
It's good?
Yep.
Summon.
On resolution, I will tribute Regenesis Warrior to return that to your hand.
No, he's unaffected.
Might have forgotten about. Wait, let me read this.
My Dark Magician is unaffected.
That's just rude, though.
It's got to be at least a little bit better than True Light. The fact that this card can only search for Dark Magic Attack or Thousand Knives is very sad, when True Light can search for any spell card or trap card that you don't have in your graveyard already.
I guess that's on me for forgetting. I'm trying to give you a chance here, you know?
I suppose. And it'll come back anyway, technically. I will now attempt to activate Bond between teacher and student.
And I will Sage, negate, and destroy that one.
Sage, negate, destroy that.
Yeah. So I should have then negated and destroyed the Eternal Soul so that you couldn't get the Dark Magician out to begin with, because then the Eternal Soul is also gone. But I was a dum-dum.
All right, I'll go battle phase.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and declare an attack at Archfiend.
Yeah.
All right, I'll take 200.
Okay.
Going under 200 life points. I'll go ahead and end my turn. Over to you.
End phase, these two will return back to my hand.
Yes, they will.
I will draw Special Summon Regenesis Sage,
That's fine.
Special Summon Warrior.
Yes.
Enter battle phase.
Yes.
Attack with Sage.
Oh! The better magician won today.
Yes. Beautiful.
Yeah, unfortunately, I was just stuck with a bunch of non-engine. I had
Yep.
Nibiru against the deck that never summons more than twice.
Exactly. Well, I summoned, I think, 4, maybe 3 on that one turn.
3 on
but
that one turn, yeah.
Never that many.
Yeah, as you can see, I went for a Primite version of Dark Magician, which this isn't technically Dark Magician support, but if there's any deck that revolves around a normal monster, it just is perfect to include these cards.
It's the best way to play Dark Magician in this current format.
100%. And we did have some new cards like Soul Servant, like Bonds, like Magician's Salvation, which is, again, a guaranteed way to get to Soul, like you were talking about. We also have things like Illusion of Chaos and Magician's Souls, which I played 3 of a lot of these cards and just didn't see them, but it's okay, it happens. I actually played 3 Salvation.
Oh, nice.
Because I played Dark Magician Girl, so you can actually use it as like a way to get infinite bodies for link material.
Yeah,
so you can go to like access code plays, which otherwise you wouldn't be able to normally. You can go like dark.
Yeah, I never think of Dark Magician as like a link climb deck.
But the most important thing that I had in here was I played Bestials, and the Primate cards are all dragons.
Yep.
So I played Secrets of Dark Magic.
Oh.
And Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, which is technically a Red Eyes card, but the only actual requirement for fusion summoning is Dark Magician or Red Eyes. So I'll be able to summon this card. And being able to summon Red Eyes Dark Dragoon and still be able to summon monsters afterwards is kind of crazy. So that was the design of this deck. Again, a similar control style Dark Magician deck, but more focused on just like powerful non-engine, mid-range effects, like the infinite grind game of Drill Beam and stuff, which probably would have put in work against you, but maybe not, because Birth can summon from the banishment. So if we both got into our grind game engines, I bet you this matchup goes
and also,
so long.
Graveyard Effect of Regenesis can get back from the banish as well. Like, this deck is hard to actually shut down.
true.
There's a lot of recursion going on.
I would have to like time my banish effects for when you either try to use Sage, and then I can like Drill Beam that and then chain Circle on resolution of summoning a Dark Magician, and then banish stuff after you summon it back. But if you just get to have like Wraithsoth plus like Kashtira monsters and big 25 bodies, that could be hard for me to fight through.
Your job would have been much easier if I didn't have the Wraithsoth, though. Starting that did make it tough, because like your Dark Magician could at least crash with everything, and the Bestials can crash. This made things awkward. I probably didn't need to worry too much about the Druid Swarm, but I didn't want to deal with it at the time.
So my opening hand was Roar, Nibiru, Druid Storm, Ash, and Imperm. So if I drew any card that like cares about Dark Magician, I can guarantee that, which I thought was pretty cool. And when you opened Wraithsoth, I was like, do I save the Nibiru? Had I known you were Armogenesis, I would have saved the Nibiru, because then you probably would summon 5 monsters in a single turn. Because you would go like Fenrir get... No, probably go Unicorn.
No, I would have gone Unicorn, summon Unicorn. I would have been able to, and also if you didn't Imperm this, I would have ended up.
Did you have another 25 in hand?
Um,
Because if you summon Unicorn before summoning this, you won't be able to summon it unless you have another one in hand.
True, but I summoned Archfiend off of Code. So I would have gone
Right,
Unicorn,
right.
summon Archfiend off of Code. Archfiend, add the Lord. Lord, banish it
Yeah.
to summon. It
That'd be
set the
3.
spell that searches Sage.
You'd have to
I
summon
still would've-
Sage on 4.
Yeah, so it's still Nibiru would not have worked.
But I could have ashed the Lord to summon the Sage, and then if you summon a monster, or two
And
after that.
ending on Lord as opposed to Archfiend way worse because Lord does not come back during the end phase. So if you can deal with it, it's actually worse. But also your deck is using the Abyss Shields. Notably, Regenesis doesn't give you targets. They're all other attributes.
They're just like Dark Dragons that like I could summon off my own monsters if I wanted
Yeah,
to. Because like once you use a
exactly.
Souls or an Illusion of Chaos, you don't really need to use them again.
Yeah.
But yeah, Nibiru unfortunately was just a dead card here. But Roar, I was actually looking forward to maybe roaring you, but I guess your deck's just too big.
But that is why I think this deck has seen some play and seen some success is because
so resilient.
Abyss Shields does not hurt it. Nibiru does not hurt it. Droll kind of hurts it, but not immediately.
It depends on like if you. It depends on what you open. Like if you open Regenesis spell plus Archfiend plus like Wraithsoth, sure, but like not even.
But the fact that Lord sets the card is big because let's say like I code to summon Archfiend, search Lord, you droll me. Well, now Lord banishes to summon and then sets the trap, and I'm just like, cool. I have a Book of Moon.
And this card's crazy.
Yeah.
Like it's also soul charge. Like we're calling it Book of Moon, but it's also soul charge, which is insane. And like. Yeah, I really like the Regenesis deck. I think it's one of my favorite decks from Alliance Insight, and it is probably the better deck at going for grind games, even though Dark Magician can do it.
Yeah, the Primate cards definitely can do it. Dark Magician's not bad at it either, but this deck, that's part of why I wanted to try it out, is just because it's the 2500 attack deck versus the OG 2500.
100%. Turns out the best way to beat the Ultimate Wizard in terms of attack and defense is to have the same attacks, but more defense.
Copy the stat line, tweak it a little bit. But I'm also happy I got a win because you kicked my butt in the other 2 formats. That was crazy.
Hey, and hey, because we know there's more modern Dark Magician support on the way, this deck will just get even better.
True. Maybe we'll have to do in the future like a history of the Blue Eyes one once the Dark Magician support comes out, and then that'll be the finale.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this little trip down memory lane that we had for the history of Dark Magician. It was honestly a lot of fun, and
been a blast.
if we ever do it again for other decks or cards, that could be exciting.
Yeah, let us know if there's any decks that you want us to see do, because I want to do this at some point myself. This was your idea to do it for Dark Magician. It's cool that you got to show that off. Now I'm thinking, what do I want to do for one? So I already have a couple ideas, but let me know in the comments, and maybe I'll like one of your ideas and do that one next.
And as always, if you guys enjoyed, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and we'll see y'all next time.